What's up, TJ?
Today we get to talk about how to use the trail arm in the golf swing.
All right, TJ, so basically what we want to discuss is what is the trail arm from start to finish. Basically, we need to learn how to use the trail arm and isolate this thing and understand exactly what's going on. So,
Sure.
Just want you to start off with a very simple exercise.
Okay.
If you just grip the club in the right hand only
right.
and kind of preset where you'd be at address with the club level to the ground right here, notice how we automatically have a little bit of right wrist extension. We have a little bit of a tilt forward, kind of your forward press at address.
So that alone, even just how we set this thing up at address, I see a lot of people kind of whack that one out.
Yep.
You know, maybe they'll kind of set up this way with a lot of, you'll see a lot of like wrist flexion there.
Yeah.
Where the right hand gets really, really underneath it.
Yep.
That's no good.
Right.
Right, because then our wrist isn't set up in a way to move. So you're saying at address, we'd actually like to see a little bit of wrist extension even at the start.
A little bit of wrist extension, yeah. So, and that can only happen if we have the proper grip. So again, if you have a grip that's a little bit underneath the golf club, you're gonna have a hard time doing that. You can still get a little bit forward shaftly and a little bit of preset there, but the wrist condition will be slightly different.
And folks can go watch our previous video on the grip for a little bit more in detail on how to do that, but we're gonna go into the movements of the trail arm here, right?
Yep.
So, okay, so at address, I've got a little bit of this right wrist extension.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. So go ahead and hold it in your right arm only.
Okay.
Okay, so from right here, just let the club lower. Now swing it up, and what I want you to do is add some radial deviation and some right wrist extension and put the club just up on a 45-degree angle here.
Okay, so maybe we should define these terms. So radial deviation is the upcocking of this wrist here.
Yes.
And then right wrist extension would be the sort of side cocking of the wrist.
Correct.
So there's a combination here happening of both up and side. So as we leverage this club up to the top of the swing, up and side. And that would be kind of, okay, so I folded up there.
Yep.
And that'd be kind of the action that the right arm is making
Exactly.
in the backswing?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. We just haven't had, we haven't added any turn yet.
Yes.
But basically what we're looking for here, and there's multiple ways to see what's going on if you kind of look at it in like a one-dimensional look here, just face on, we're essentially getting the golf club up on the plane or above the plane by doing this. Additionally, we're allowing that right arm to fold and we're allowing that right elbow to kind of stay inside the profile of our body, and we're not pulling the lawnmower chain, so to speak.
Yeah, so just having this intention of letting this thing work up in front of us
Yep.
is a lot different than a lot of people are swinging it out there. So
Yeah.
a lot of people get this thing started like kind of a lawnmower, right?
Yep.
Right, start bending this thing up and back and across really, really early.
Yep.
Well, then I can't work it up in front of me. It's always on my right side of my body. So
Yep.
so that's a cool action. I like that.
Yep. And then the last thing I want you to notice as you're doing this is there's a couple matchups here. If I keep my right elbow somewhat in front of my body, then the right wrist extension can actually be there.
Yeah.
If the right elbow pulls, I start to lose a little bit of right wrist extension, then I'm gonna have to make something up through my wrist
And
conditions.
if I kind of just, I'll skip ahead a second. I'll go to the
Yep.
turn portion. How often do you see that on a lesson tee?
A lot of times. Yep.
So
Yep.
so this action can really, really help both the right elbow fold, but the right wrist sort of extend in the appropriate way.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
Absolutely.
cool. That's cool.
So moving along, let's go ahead and take a setup here.
Sure.
And now,
You want right hand only or both?
let's do right hand only.
Okay.
Now you guys are probably thinking, well, the golf club doesn't go straight up and down. It actually does. It travels up and down your midline. Now we need to use the body in the rib cage to curve this club as the same arm action is happening. So what I'm going to ask TJ to do here from address is perform a little bit of a midline preset and rib sway. Now he's going to load his trail arm into his chest. Now as he starts to rotate, he's going to bounce his trail arm up off his chest, continue turning, and we're going to see that look at the top of the backswing.
That's
Okay.
cool. So in this type of orientation,
Yep.
the right arm is still in front of my body.
Yep.
So I could basically kind of pair this movement with a midline preset and turn.
Exactly.
And we've got a backswing there.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yep.
Okay. So we know that the right arm needs to work up in front of us, kind of fold, bend back. Now transition, what's the sequence? So I'm here in the top of my backswing. Help me kind of work through this.
Okay, so sequence would be, first thing we're gonna do is allow the pelvis to recenter and start to rotate.
Okay.
Okay, now that we've created space, notice how TJ's right arm is still kind of inside the profile of his body. First thing we're gonna do, once we've dropped and started to rotate, we're gonna allow the right elbow to get out in front of his stomach as he rotates.
That's really, really cool.
Yep.
So I want to show that from this face-on angle here. So we're there.
Yep.
Drop, recenter. And then
then
the right arm's going to work out across my stomach this way.
Yes, yes. And here's the cool thing. So as you do that, go ahead and go up to the top again. Drop and recenter. Okay, so if we can pretend this is a cat, left hip is a cat, left hip starts to rotate. Now the dog is that right elbow. That dog is just chasing the cat, curving that right elbow around his body all the way to the finish.
That's a really, really cool visual.
Yeah.
So I'm dropping, I'm recentering. The cat is that lead hip.
Correct.
It's going to start to curve out of the way, and the right arm's going to follow it out and across here.
Yep.
That's a really, really cool visual.
Yeah.
Okay, so that can probably be best felt for people at a low pace, slow pace first.
Absolutely.
It's a bit of an intricate movement, but it is helpful to understand sort of this sequence that goes on. So it's not this first and then I respond, right? There's going to be a little bit of this leading the charge, leading the parade, and then the right arm's going to work across.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So if we kind of took a couple steps back and isolated the right arm completely just for training purposes, we would want to do something like this. So from setup, you'd swing it up, put the club on plane, keep the right elbow straight in front of your body. Okay, good wrist condition. Now from right here, let the golf club fall behind you and get the right elbow back in front of you and bring it back to square.
That's a cool feel.
Yeah, pretty simple. You can do this on the couch just watching the game, you know?
That kind of comes back to this idea of hammering the nail, right?
Yep.
So it's very, very simple if I just go here, hammer the nail.
Yep. Yep.
So it's up in front, club falls, elbow works across, hit.
Yep. And there's the geometry in one dimension.
That's really, really cool. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're struggling with that, it might be helpful to break it up into this very simple piece first. What does the right arm actually do? Well, then I can start to pair that with all of the cool spiral body movements we talk about.
Exactly.
And then we've got a whole picture of a swing there.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, cool.
Exactly.
I know a lot of people finally, right, after this idea of, you know, the beginning and then the middle and into the impact, well, where's this idea of release? Or, you know, there's a lot said about this trail elbow, what it should do through the ball that I think is really, really interesting, right?
Right.
There's a sort of trend in golf instruction that I've seen that, you know, we should just try to keep this elbow bent forever. I don't think that's true necessarily. Maybe there's some truth to it in certain ways, right?
Right.
But where should I feel this right elbow actually start to extend and release away from my body? Because that's important in generating some power, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So basically, if we thought about this based on our midlines,
Okay.
once you get your right elbow essentially on your midline, that is the point where you're going to start to unload the bend in your right elbow and the extension in your right wrist. So basically, we want to maintain these angles all the way until we get that right elbow up in front of our body.
Awesome.
Now you notice that this golf club is kind of on the target line right now, AKA delivery. From here, that's where that release starts to occur as you rotate up and out of the shot.
That's a really cool distinction. So
Yep.
if we thought about this like a throw, right, I'd say the most common mistake that we'd see with the player is that he kind of tends to extend and dump the angle of the club really, really early.
Right.
Could you show that with the club just so you could see what I'm looking at here? So you might recognize this in your own swing where, oh, I see that at impact. Like I have a hard time with shaft lean and things like that, right? So that may be the most common mistake. So if I was throwing, this right arm's extending before the elbow gets in front of my midline, I'd get like that look, right? Where I throw it almost like behind my body. There's no power on that, right? It's no good. So what you're saying is if we're thinking about this like a throw, the release point's not gonna happen until after this elbow gets across my chest. There's a lot more power in that.
Oh yeah.
Well, because then I can use my whole body to support it. That's cool. That's a hit sensation. So if I'm gonna throw this thing, I'll throw it out into the range, I'm gonna wait till after elbow gets out in front of my chest. You say that's accurate?
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
then what that'll look like with the club is we'll start avoiding this sensation. We'll get more, okay, I'm bent, but then it's gonna go, right? And fully release its angles and compress it, all that goodness.
Exactly.
You say that's accurate?
Absolutely. And you're gonna feel a lot of kind of load and tension
Okay.
through delivery. Now from here, it's almost like if I had my right arm full of water and the water is gonna flow into the golf club, out the golf shaft, I'd wanna be shooting the water
Yeah.
kind of out up this direction.
That's cool.
The explanation you gave earlier of kind of getting that right arm trapped and throwing down, all of the energy is now going down. So
You want it through.
now we want through, and throwing down only leads to
Yeah.
other problems like extension and whatnot.
All right, so I think that's a lot of really, really good conceptual stuff for people to understand.
Yeah.
Now, one of the main comments we get is, what kind of drills do you have for this, right? So
Yep.
maybe we could go through like one is just a drill without even a golf ball, right? Where we're just working, how do we work this arm in space? That's a great little drill, okay?
Yep.
Can you walk me through how I'm gonna like maybe turn that into a golf swing here?
Absolutely. So one of the favorite drills from all time. So we're gonna do kind of a modified front loader exercise.
Yep.
And we're gonna preset the right wrist conditions. We're gonna preset the right elbow.
Okay.
And then work through a little bit of a half swing front loader drill. So
All right, show me how to do that.
Yep, first thing I want you to do, just find setup.
Okay.
Okay, now you're just gonna stand straight back up. First thing we're gonna do from here is add some extension of the right wrist and then pin that right elbow out in front of your body, okay? From here, I just want you to start rotating your chest towards the target and feel that release of the golf club once your right elbow gets past the midline of your body.
Okay,
get
so
that.
we're here,
Yep,
there,
correct? Yep.
and then we're gonna go turn, shoot it out.
Yeah, so the chest creates the pattern and the shape of the golf club, kind of paves the road for the golf club to go.
That's cool.
And then it's just all up to you to find when it's right to release. And that point in time is when that right elbow is getting out in front of the chest or right in front of the sternum, and then let that thing go.
So that's kind of a cool drill. If we did that on an inclined plane here,
Yep.
like facing the golf ball, I would go there.
Yep,
Might be helpful to add just a little turn back. Then we're gonna go through and release.
love it.
That can be a really, really good way to teach yourself how to stabilize the elbow, stabilize the face,
Yep,
get your body pivoting really, really well through the hitting area. There.
yep. Love it. And you can kind of start to play with this and make it as bouncy and dynamic
Yeah.
as you want, you know?
So you can start to add some spiral line stuff
Yep,
in it.
yep.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
So try this in a front loader type of look here. So same start. Okay, now I want you to rotate over the golf ball to what you would feel front loader would be. Now your job is to return back to that preset spot and return to front loader. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Found my new favorite drill for the next couple months. That's good.
Heck yeah.
All right, so that's how to use the trail arm in the golf swing from beginning to end. Cool.
Yeah.
As usual, we love questions, so throw your comments down below. We'll be sure to answer them. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We got new videos coming every single week. Talk to you soon.